From being basketball's youngest viral sensation to a polarizing figure, Julian Newman has had one of the most dramatic rise and falls in the world of sports.
Orlando's 11-year-old Julian Newman has found out firsthand the power of the internet.
Julian Newman, they are taking the internet by storm with their incredible dribbling skills. 17-year-old Julian, he's been playing varsity basketball since the fifth grade.
You're 11 years old now, 5th grade, and you're on the varsity team. That's just completely unheard of.
But today, people are wondering, what happened to the young phenom who once seemed unstoppable? I've got the inside scoop, and trust me, it's not what you'd expect. Stick around until the end, where I'll explain exactly what went wrong for Julian Newman. Is he really all hype, or is there more to Julian's story than most realize? To understand where things went wrong, we need to go back to the beginning. Julian Newman was born in Florida, and from a young age, he displayed an intense love for basketball. Coming from a family deeply rooted in the sport, Julian started playing as soon as he could walk. His father, Jamie Newman, a former player himself, began training him rigorously at just 3 years old. By the age of 9, Julian was already playing varsity basketball. His impressive dribbling skills, combined with his confidence, often bordering on cockiness, set him apart on the court. As Julian progressed through elementary school, he was clearly a standout. His talent was undeniable. By 5th grade, he was already a force. Downey Christian School put him on their varsity team when he was only 10, where he averaged over 12 points, 11 assists, and nearly 5 steals per game in his first year. The sports world quickly took notice of this child excelling against older, taller opponents. By 7th grade, Julian was a household name in high school basketball, averaging 19.8 points, 10.2 assists, and 4.3 rebounds per game. Fans hailed him as a prodigy with NBA potential, though critics started questioning if his style was more about showmanship than substance. Despite the doubts, Julian continued breaking records. He became the youngest player to reach 1,000 career points in high school, finishing 8th grade with nearly 24 points and over 11 assists per game. Yet with each new achievement, more people questioned his journey, viewing him as a basketball child star rather than a player with a grounded trajectory. His family's YouTube series, Born Ready, further amplified this, spotlighting Julian as a brand before reaching high school. At 11, he went viral, captivating millions with his flashy handles and confidence. While some saw a young star with boundless potential, others perceived a player who was all flash, lacking foundational skills. Either way, he had everyone's attention. Being in the public eye from such an early age came with its own set of challenges. While most kids his age were focused on school, friends, and personal development, Julian's life revolved around basketball, cameras, and media scrutiny. The pressure to perform wasn't only from fans and his family, who had invested so much in his journey. His father, as both his coach and mentor, created an environment focused on Julian's success, sometimes at the expense of his personal development outside of basketball. This early fame also meant that Julian missed out on certain key aspects of athletic growth. Critics argue that Julian's unconventional path, geared heavily toward creating viral moments, neglected the slower, more methodical training that most players experience. The drills, conditioning, and scrimmages that typically help young athletes build a solid foundation were often replaced with high-intensity, performance-driven sessions. For Julian, each game was a chance to deliver moments that would go viral rather than simply hone his skills or improve his team's chances of winning. As Julian entered his later high school years, physical limitations became more evident. Standing at 5 feet 7 inches, his height posed a significant challenge in a sport dominated by taller players. While other shorter players like Nate Robinson succeed by compensating with elite athleticism, Julian didn't have that edge. His vertical leap wasn't high enough to score reliably at the rim, and he struggled against defenders with greater reach and speed. At a time when he needed to refine his all-around game to overcome these limitations, he instead focused on continuing to push his signature dribbling style and flashy moves. For fans following Julian's viral days, these later games were a harsh reality check. Though his dribbling and shooting range remained impressive, his lack of defensive impact and inability to perform consistently against tougher competition left many wondering if he was the same player they once idolized. As college scouts observed his games, Julian's physical challenges made it difficult for him to stand out among other players who were both taller and had more versatile skill sets. When Julian graduated, he found himself in an unexpected position. Despite his fame, he had no solid college offers or pathways within traditional basketball structures. The NBA, his lifelong dream, seemed out of reach. For most players, this would mark the end. But Julian wasn't ready to give up. He and his family pursued an independent route with no scholarships, no NBA contract, just his family and a brand they were determined to keep alive. Financial pressure mounted as the family realized that Julian's career had become central to their future, which complicated his ability to focus solely on development. Every game and every event became both an opportunity and a test to see if his dream and their shared investments could be sustained. Julian began touring smaller basketball circuits, promoting his merchandise line and training to reach the next level. For many fans, this was a confusing path. Could Julian go pro without the development offered by a traditional path? While he showed he still loved basketball, fans couldn't help but wonder if his career now was more about maintaining a brand than improving his game. Without the structure of college or professional training programs, fans questioned if Julian's determination alone could get him to the pros. Ultimately, the hype surrounding Julian outpaced his actual development. His flashy style made him famous, but it wasn't enough for an NBA spot. Julian faced several obstacles in reaching the NBA. His height of 5 feet 7 inches was a major disadvantage in a league where even shorter players rely on exceptional athleticism. Lacking the explosiveness, strength, and leaping ability to offset his size, scouts doubted his ability to compete at the NBA level. Additionally, Julian's showy play style, flashy dribbling, and deep shooting often overshadowed efficient, team-focused play. Analysts and coaches raised concerns that his high-risk shot selection and minimal defensive impact wouldn't translate well in a professional environment. Playing against top high school programs highlighted his limitations, as he struggled against elite opponents with NBA potential. His early fame further complicated his journey to the NBA. Instead of developing as a well-rounded player, Julian's career became centered on social media presence and entertainment. Reality shows and viral fame took priority over traditional development paths like college basketball. Despite impressive high school stats, his viral fame didn't equate to the high-level development NBA teams seek, leaving him without significant college or professional opportunities. Some believe Julian was a victim of unrealistic expectations. With so much early fame, he was pushed down a path that limited his growth like other young players. While he remained confident, the spotlight that once propelled him forward now illuminated every flaw. So where does Julian go from here? Recently, Julian has explored opportunities outside the US, training with various programs and even seeking pro contracts overseas. Despite setbacks and criticisms, he remains driven, aiming to play professional basketball. For Julian, this journey isn't just about proving people wrong, it's about fulfilling the dream he's chased since childhood. He wants to show he's more than a viral sensation. He wants to be remembered as a real player who defied the odds. Today, Julian continues to work on his game, refining his skills and searching for ways to overcome his limitations. He's also gained a new perspective on basketball, focusing not only on what he can achieve individually, but also on how he can grow his legacy. Playing overseas might not have the glamour of the NBA, but it offers Julian a chance to continue doing what he loves. With every tour, training session, and promotional event, he is redefining his image and fighting to prove that he's more than the flash that first put him in the spotlight. But will he reach the level he's always aimed for? While he may not be the NBA's next big thing, Julian is determined to leave his mark somewhere in the basketball world. Fans and critics are watching closely, waiting to see if he can evolve his game. For Julian, every practice, workout, and tour is another chance to prove himself and fulfill his dream. So, how good or bad is Julian Newman, really? It depends on what you believe defines success. He's already achieved fame most players only dream of, and his story isn't over yet. While he may never see his name in NBA lights, his journey is a testament to the impact of early fame and the sacrifices made when one's life is put on display. But will he find the professional validation he seeks, or will his legacy remain tied to social media highlights? Only time will tell. Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Did Julian live up to the hype, or was he always destined to be more show than substance? Drop your insights, and if you want more breakdowns on basketball stars' rise and fall, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories.